What's up, guys? Welcome to my Ferrari. I want to grab a seat and take a few minutes and just talk to you today about something a little different, okay? We're not in the shop, we're not getting dirty, we're just gonna grab a seat and we're gonna talk about goal setting today. I want to explain how I set goals and why they're so important. And here we go. So, the reason why I set goals is because I want things to happen. And anytime I want anything to happen, it doesn't matter what that may be, I'll set a goal for it. So when you're setting a goal, there's a way to do it where you have the best chance of it becoming reality. And that's the way that I do it, and I want to explain that to you. It's actually super simple, and all you have to do is just follow what it is. And typically it works out if you want it to. Now, when you're setting a goal, it's important to not set a goal that's too easy to achieve. When you set a goal that's too easy to achieve, it is not something you're going to be too passionate about. And I'll give you an example of that. If I set a goal, and my goal is that on Friday night, let's say today's Monday, on Friday night, I would like to have chicken wings for dinner. I'm not going to be too passionate about that goal, and it's not going to really make my brain go into overdrive, and it's not going to bring me to another level because it's easily achievable. However, if I set a goal that will raise my standards a little, that seems a little far-fetched, difficult, unachievable right off the bat of thinking of it, but really when you set the goal and you start to break it down, you realize that it's doable. That's the challenge that will bring you to the next level, and that's when really, really amazing things start to happen. So I'm just going to give you a really quick example of how I do it. Let's say I'm setting a goal and we are talking about, let's just say financial. I decide I want to make, throwing out a number, $1 million every 12 months. And I want it to be liquid, in cash. We're not talking about net worth, we're talking about cash. So for me to set that goal, this is how I go about it. First step is I visualize it. I close my eyes, I see the money, I can smell the money, I see the stacks, I can almost feel them. I visualize it. Once I visualize it and I realize that it's a crystal clear vision in my head, and it's something that I want to put my energy into, and it's something that I want to be my reality, I open my eyes. And by that point, when I open my eyes, I almost believe that I make $1 million a year, to the point where it's like, this is who I am, this is what I make, but my reality hasn't caught up to that yet. And all I have to do is bring my reality up to speed. So that's where the goal comes in. That's the goal's job. The goal's job is now to bring that reality up to speed with whatever it is that you've already visioned and that you believe is going to happen. So I write it down, and not on my phone. It needs to be physical. So either in a piece of paper with a marker, a whiteboard, you're writing it down, and somewhere that you can see it every single day. It's right in front of you. So here we go. I now put my stuff on a whiteboard. I write it at the top, $1 million a year. So within the next 12 months, I want $1 million cash. This is what I want. This is my goal. So how am I going to do it? I break it down. The goal's at the top. I start branching down. So what is it going to take every month, every week, and every day? And when I break it down, I always go down to the lowest point, because I want to know what my daily goal is to reach my ultimate goal, which is the 12-month goal. I need to break it down to daily, because if I don't know what I need to do every day, days will pass where I'm not being productive enough and I'm not really like getting creative enough to do what it takes to make that daily goal happen. Because without that daily goal, the weekly goal is not going to be hit. Without the weekly goal, the monthly goal won't be hit. And without the monthly goal, definitely the yearly goal, that 12-month goal, will not be hit. So the focus is on daily. So I break it down, and it's about, let's say on a daily basis, we want to turn that day into only a 10-hour productive work day. So we want 10 hours of the day to be creating this money for us and not anything more. We want to keep this very, very doable. So when we break it down to 10 hours, it's about $274. So already it's not so bad. $274 an hour, that's not so bad. That's doable. But how can I make sure that I'm making that 10 hours a day, 365 days a year for the next 12 months? This is how you do it. So 274 is the goal. Then I start to branch off that 274 an hour, and it's only for 10 hours a day. So I know myself, I'm not going to work every single day. So I figure out I'm going to work, let's say 5 days a week, and I'm going to put in an average of 8 hours a day in that 5 days. And then I put my hourly rate in, the amount of money that I make steady per hour, 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. So let's say I make less than that. So for example, let's say that I know I can make $100 an hour, and I can do that for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Well, I'm still missing 2 hours a day and 2 days a week, and plus a difference of $174 an hour for 10 hours a day. So if that's a bit confusing, basically I'm still short money. I'm making maybe a third of that goal, let's say, right now. This is why it's a goal, and this is why we set goals above our standards. If we were already making everything we need to make, it wouldn't be a goal. So I need to now, I know that I'm capped out. I'm working 8 hours a day. I'm making my $100 an hour. I'm capped out, but I'm nowhere near this goal. I'm maybe a third of the way there. So I need to now optimize my income. But I know I don't have the time because I'm already doing everything I can in that 8 hours. Well, I'm basically making income with my skills. And I'm putting that into productiveness, and I'm making my income. However, I need to now think outside the box, and I need to now realize that I cannot do this alone. So I need to introduce other people and other things to start making me money. So, for example, my case, let's say the powder coat business. If I have one employee working full-time, this employee is now making me a certain amount of money on productiveness every single hour of 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. So now I'm doing my part, but I'm not doing anything more. However, there's somebody there every single day creating a certain amount of money every day for me, 8 hours a day, right? 5 days a week. So I'm now getting closer to my goal. The next thing I would do is I would figure out, okay, that part where I'm not actually doing anything and it's making me money, that must be scalable. Because if I have one person, why can't I have 2 or 5 or 10? If I have a certain quantity of product being done every month, why can't I have 2 of that? Why can't I have 5 times that? Why can't I have 3 facilities? So basically I start to figure out what I need to scale. And I'm not scaling myself, my hands are full. I'm using my brain, and I'm using the scalable part of the business to now optimize where I need to be to make that income. So does that mean with what I'm doing and with what my one full-time person is doing, I'm still not making enough? Let's just say I'm not. So that means I now need a second person making me money, like a little money machines, right? So maybe I don't have enough work. Maybe there's not enough customers coming in for me to have a second person working full time. So then on my goal that I have on the whiteboard, where I have $274 a day, for me to now figure that out, I now know what I make, what this person makes, and what I'm missing. So let's say I'm missing another $50 an hour coming from somewhere for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for the next 12 months. So if I have enough work for a second employee and he can produce that kind of income for me by being productive, my goal will be reached. So then I know now, to achieve this big goal, all I need to do is I need to go and seek more business. So I need to go set up some meetings with other companies that require powder coating work. And if I hit one that will give me enough work that I can keep another employee busy full time, then I'm set. I'm gonna achieve my $1 million in the 12 months goal. So my focus now went from that $1 million in 12 months to now all I need to do is keep doing exactly what I'm doing, but add another key element into the equation. So how am I gonna do that? Then I branched that off. Okay, this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna call 50 places, and of those 50 places, guaranteed 5 of them are gonna wanna see me. If not, I'm gonna call 50 more. I'm gonna set up meetings, I'm gonna go see them, and I'm not gonna stop until somebody sees the value that I have to offer in the industry that they're in. Once they see the value I have to offer, they're gonna send me the work, I'm gonna fill that position, and the goal is gonna come together. So I put my efforts, I know what direction to put my efforts in to achieve that goal. But had I not broken it down, I would just go about my day, every day, doing what I'm doing. Let's say I'm changing a windshield, I have somebody doing some powder coating for me at the same time, you know, I'm making good money, but I'm just wondering, like, how come I'm not achieving this goal? It's because I didn't break it down and I didn't find what was missing. And once you find what's missing, you then just start to figure out how you can make that puzzle come together. Through the skills that you have, the knowledge you have, the wisdom that you have, and the creativity that you have, you can figure it out. So for that example, I know my hands are full, I have somebody else's hands are full, but I have a scalable business, I have a facility that can house more people, that can produce more product. So a good key ingredient to this is to bring in more clients. I know how to get more clients, so I need to focus on that avenue, and then I need to get somebody in there and start making me a little more money, and then I'm going to hit my goal. So you just kind of figure it out once you see the missing piece. And that way you have a daily goal. So then my daily goal is going to be, okay, today I need to set up one meeting. So does that mean I have to make 50 calls? It might mean I have to make 50 calls. I might be getting up 2 hours earlier making all these calls. But that's my goal. I got to set up the meeting. And then the weekly goal would be like, okay, well, by the end of this week, one of those meetings needs to turn into cash. It needs to turn into a sale. And I have this goal. So every day, you set your goals, and then before you know it, it just starts to happen. And usually when it starts to happen, I find that it happens and it exceeds your standards. So, and it really changes the level where you're at. Let's say I reached this goal now, right? So now I have 2 people full-time, I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm making $1 million a year cash. Okay, so I would never go back. I don't feel comfortable now going back to where I was before. I'm now comfortable at the $1 million cash a year. So I'm not going to be comfortable with $500,000 a year. It'll feel like I'm going backwards. And so once I achieve that goal and I start to visualize the next, it's like you are there and that is your bottom. And the next goal keeps going higher and higher and higher. And that's basically how my goal set. I hope that made sense to you guys. And it works for me, and it can work in any part of your life. It doesn't have to be financial. It could be anything. It could be physical. Just whatever you want to set your mind to, write it down and start branching. And if you like this video, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and thank you for joining me in the Ferrari. We'll talk again.